decided to do something a little bit different this time. We have been talking about the 9 Old Men, but some people don't know who they are. So I'm just doing like a skim. There is so much information online and it's crazy. All these people have had like extensive careers and they're all amazing. I'm just going to give you a little taste. Okay. First was Les Clark. He started in 1927. He was there before the films got going. He specialized in Mickey Mouse. Cool guy, that Les. Next, we have Marc Davis. He started in 1935 on Snow White. He developed and animated on characters such as Bambi, Maleficent, Aurora, Cruella de Vil, and he also did some character designs for Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion at the parks. Next, we have Ward Kimball. He started in 1934. He's worked on some characters such as Jiminy Cricket, Lucifer, Jock and Gus, Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, and he was considered to have a pretty wild style for animation. He kind of does a little bit of the zanier characters, which you could totally see with Lucifer, which we watched today, and also the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat, kind of a little bit more zany, a little more waving around and stuff like that.
Lucifer was actually based on his own cat, whose name was Feetsy.
That's pretty cute.
Pretty adorable. I think also that the Cheshire Cat was probably based on this as well, because they look pretty similar.
Lucifer and Cheshire Cat, they had a lot of the same mannerisms and movements.
Body shape, too.
Right. Like a sack of flour overstuffed. Next, we have Eric Larson. He started in 1933. Some characters he's worked on is Peg from Lady and the Tramp, the Vultures from Jungle Book. He did the sequence of Peter Pan's flight over London, heading off to Neverland. He's done Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and he also had a talent to spot and train new animators at the studio. So he is most known to bring people in under his wing kind of idea and help them out and get them ready to go, get them up to Disney standards. Next we have John Lounsbery. 1935 is when he started. He worked on some characters such as Foul Fellow and Gideon, Ben Alligator. He did George Darling from Peter Pan. Also we've got Tony and Joe from Lady and the Tramp. Coming up, we'll talk about soon, is King Stephen and Hubert, Sleeping Beauty. And he also did the elephants from the Jungle Book. It's crazy to find out who's done what.
I know.
It's weird, right?
You think about animation almost as one whole thing, and it's kind of, I remember when I first found out that different animators animated different characters, it was like, what?
It's crazy, I know.
You just think that someone essentially sits down and is like, this scene is done by this person, but that's not.
No, they gave the animators like a specialty, and they got to perfect characters that way and give it specific personalities that were consistent then, right? And of course they had help, but they led the charge. It's crazy. But anyways, we got some more old men to talk about. Next is Wolfgang Reitherman. He started in 1935. Kind of neat thing about him, he produced all the films after Walt's death until his retirement in the 1950s, later 1950s. Some of the characters he did were Monstro, the Headless Horseman, the Crocodile from Peter Pan, the Rat from Lady and the Tramp. I forgot all about the Rat. He's so creepy. He also did Prince Philip's escape and battle against Maleficent. Next, we have Ollie Johnston.
Yeah!
Yay, Ollie. I love Ollie, if you guys haven't figured it out. So he started in 1935 on Snow White. Some of his notable characters are Mr. Smee, the stepsisters from Cinderella, Prince John, Ichabod Crane, and Sir Hiss.
He did Prince John and Sir Hiss?
Yeah, he did. gonna do Frank Thomas next. Next we got Milt Kahl.
No, you have to do Frank Thomas next. You can't do Ollie and then not do Frank.
Okay. They're a pair. They're a pair. Let's do Frank Thomas, because I agree. They're a package deal. He started in 1934. Some of his characters he was well known for was Stepmother, Lady Tremaine, the Queen of Hearts, and Captain Hook. Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston were the authors of Illusion of Life, and it's considered to be one of the greatest animation books created. I have it, and I often use it for resources for this podcast. It is amazing. You guys should totally check it out. It's got beautiful pictures, and it just talks about times at the studio and how their thought process for animation and stuff like that. They kind of break it down a little bit. So it's really great. It's huge. Totally recommend it. Okay, let's finish this off with Milt Kahl. He started in 1934 on Snow White. Some characters he is well known for is Pinocchio, Tigger, Peter Pan, Slewfoot Sue, Shere Khan, Edgar the Butler, Sheriff of Nottingham, and Madame Medusa. These guys were amazing. Everyone in the industry knows about these guys, and if you don't, I don't know, you must be under a rock. These guys were all honored as Disney Legends in 1989.
Took them long enough.
Yeah. And then they were all honored separately with the Winsor McKay Award as well, and that's the Lifetime Achievement Award for animators. So say that they're a big deal is putting it lightly.
Yeah, I also find it really interesting, just as a side note, most of the characters that you said that they were known for were villains.
Yes, well, you have to have a lot of personality to do a villain, so it takes a really strong animator to do that.